Morning, everybody. I see I got a few followers on my daughter's video. My daughter is hilarious. She is a very she's a very funny girl, and I really am proud of her for getting on the channel. It's gonna take her a while to warm up and let her see her pretty face more often. But say good morning, honey.
Good morning.
It's been a rough morning getting up with that bird every morning.
Oh, he was good today.
But look, I just wanted to let everybody know that we're going to bring up a subject. Scoots over a little bit. Hey, we feel like we're in a drive-in movie. I'm getting fresh with you now. Look, just wanted to let everybody know that finally, the DPS, Department of Public Safety, I'm going to let my wife tell you this story.
So we found out what Texas does is when you have so many points off your insurance for things like DWI, suspended license, no insurance.
No, let me correct her. Every time you get a ticket from a city, you have to pay a surcharge through the state.
Wait, I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and once you've exceeded these limits on the points off of your insurance, then the tickets are now turned into the state as well, and then you have to pay what they call a surcharge. A no insurance ticket is $260 for 2 years. Okay, and then there's a chance of your license being suspended. Or when that happens, your license is suspended, so then you have to pay for an SR-22. Then you have to pay a reinstatement fee, and then you have to pay a fee to the state of Texas. Well, just the reinstatement fee and the fee to the state of Texas comes to $205. What the Texas government has finally realized is this method is putting more people in the hole because they cannot pay the ticket or their surcharges.
They can pay the tickets. Usually, most of the time.
All right. They cannot pay the surcharges, and so that leads to their lives not being able to drive, to not being able to go to work because they don't have a way. Well, after I think it's been in effect for about almost 20 years.
20 years.
As of September 1st, 2019, anybody in Texas that has surcharges are going to be wiped clean. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're already paying on them, you need to continue to pay on them. And I believe what will happen then, on September 1st, whatever you owe is going to be wiped clean. Limpy over here, he has never, ever paid a surcharge. Ever.
I know it's embarrassing, man, but look.
I keep track of it, and his surcharges are about $6,000, $7,000 for the first year.
Yeah.
The second year would be $4,000 he'd have to pay out. As of September 1st, all that will go away, and he'll be able to be legal.
How many tickets I got left?
We have one.
I got one ticket left in Hearst.
And I will no longer be a chauffeur.
Yeah, this is the thing, man. This is why I haven't showed too many videos of me driving. Yeah, I've been driving here lately because why have I been driving, honey? Because you're not. It's a lot on her having to chauffeur me around.
Yeah.
And it really upsets her whenever she has to hold my hand and wipe my butt like a little kid. So, I've been paying on the tickets, and I got money set in a coffee can upstairs, and so if the worst thing happens to worst, this whole time if I would have gotten pulled over, I would have called her up and said, well, first of all, right down the street is
He only drives a 2-mile stretch, and that's it.
Well,
not even two.
Not even that. I go straight down to the shop and back, and if a cop gets behind me, I'm just going to keep going and pulling my driveway and say, hey, look, man, here I am. And through my whole life, I've had to learn lessons and start doing stuff the right way, but in the past,
If he would have done them right the first time, we wouldn't be in this position.
Well, yes, but let me back up. Before in my past, I just never pay tickets. I didn't want to pay tickets. I'd rather go let them all add up to around $1,200, and then finally they'll take your little butt to jail, and I would go sit them out, and then they would turn me loose, and and that's how I paid my tickets. Well, then when they started doing the surcharge thing, you can't go sit surcharges out. You're going to have to pay them. So that's why they all added up for 20 years. You know, I never did pay them. I always went and set my tickets out. Well, now that I'm doing it right and I'm paying on my tickets and stuff, we've put money aside to where if I did get pulled over, I would just go sit my tickets out and I would have enough money if I couldn't make it to the house, you know, because obviously if you're far enough away from the house and you don't pull over, they're going to give you another charge from trying to evading
arrest.
Evading arrest, that's what it's called. And then that's not a ticket, that's a charge. So, you know, but if that, you know, I had that at a backup plan to where, okay, I'll just have the money set aside for the towing fee to get my poor truck out of prison.
But let me back up. Like I said before, you know, everybody says, oh, well, don't drive if your license is suspended. Then you wouldn't get in that boat. But when you have a family depending on you, and you can't, and your job is helping support your family because one income isn't taking care of it, you have to weigh your options. Do I take that risk and not drive and just be careful? Roll the dice, baby.
That's what I did. Just
not everybody can just say, okay, I'm not going to drive anymore and have their spouse tow them everywhere. Because that was our problem. Is I couldn't tow them everywhere. I couldn't do it. You know, yeah, it's
every time I asked her to take me somewhere, man, she started screaming and hollering at me, and I said,
it's his own fault for getting his butt in his pickle and not taking care of his business. But then when you have to make the decision whether or not you do the right thing, the way things are supposed to be done, and not drive, or do you chance it because your family is dependent on that income to pay the bills, the rent, you know, to have the gas in the car so your other one can go to work.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of things that everybody knows they're supposed to do right.
Sometimes it's harder said than done.
It sounds great on paper.
Yeah, it really does. But anyway, so I've almost got my tickets paid off, and things are starting to come around, man. I got one more city left, and then they're gonna erase all my surcharges, and I'm gonna get my license back. And I'm so glad that that's happening, so I don't have to put all this stress on her. I'm sorry, honey. And,
because, you know, it'd be so nice if he had his driver's license to where he could go check our son out of school early for his orthodontist appointment and take him so I can sleep. But as it sits right now, the only thing he can do is just make sure I'm up. And I'm the one that has to check him out of school. I'm the one that has to take Dakota to all his appointments. You know? What am I going to do? There you go,
and then on top of that, take me to all my doctor's appointments and get all my medication refilled and take me to all my... Oh, God, it was driving her up the wall. It was really too much on her. So I just said, you know, when I got a little bit of money saved up, I just put it up there and said, well, if I get pulled over, be by the phone. I'll give you a call if it happens. And it hasn't, because I followed the rules and made sure all my blinkers and everything work. But if the worst thing came to worst, I would have the money to get my truck out of the impound. I wouldn't lose my truck. But
and then it causes your other half to
stress and be in a bad mood and be bitchy all the time and not give me no love.
It took me so long for me to start getting into the doctor and getting on the medication that I need, because I knew it was another appointment to add to it. So I kept putting it off. Because it was another appointment to add to the list of Blimpie and our son.
So anyway, her point is this, you know, the state of Texas has finally realized that there's a lot of other people out there just like me that it's not doing us no good to put these surcharges on us like this. It's making it worse, you know.
But the end result is also, too, those tickets that receive surcharges they're going to increase the fines on those.
Oh, they're going to increase the city fines?
So like,
oh boy! So that means if I get the ticket and it's one of those things where I just don't feel like paying it again, I can just go sit it out this time for real instead of getting out and still having surcharges to pay. I'm just joking.
You've lost your ever-loving mind. You've lost
I'm
your
just joking.
rabbit-ass mind.
I ain't scared of jail. I never have been scared of jail. It's to tell you the truth, man. Being wound up in that life of mine way back then, when I was just wound tight and on the gas all the time and struggling with my addiction. Sometimes it was good for me to go to jail and take a vacation.
Oh, it was good for me too, because you know what? I learned. I quit getting upset when he went to jail and crying. You know, when he went to jail, that meant it was time to clean house. Out goes the junk. Get rid of that. He hadn't touched that in 6 years. Let's dump that in the trash.
I come home
Never
and all my junk would be all thrown away. All my tools would be put up where I couldn't even find them. Man, I was mad when I got out of jail, man. Oh, I was terrible. It's terrible. But anyway, I'm doing it right now. I just want to let everybody know that. And I'm fixing to drive her to the Whataburger up here and talk to Mr. Don about driving one of these cars on or maybe getting on a payment plan for one of those cars, that 2015 Nissan. I still haven't found out how much rebuild and flip he's one of my followers. He asked me how much for that Versa, and the guy, he's trying to find out. He's actually getting those cars on consignment himself, and then they're kind of like he's taking a couple on consignment for responsibilities to fix up this and that, and he handed me a couple of cars, you know. So it's kind of like he's just sharing the wealth, you know what I'm saying? So he's gonna find out how much it is. If it's too much, we're just gonna let her drive it and flip it, you know, until she sells it. She's just gonna put a for sale sign on it, drive it, you know, stick it on her insurance, drive it until she sells it. Yeah, I know that we're still kind of skeptical about that, because then every time you stick the car on the insurance policy, I'm hoping, you know, we haven't talked to the insurance people yet, or went shopping around with some insurance people, but if they have a fine every time you stick or remove a car on an insurance policy, is it going to be worth it just to drive cars on consignment and have you know, because the cars that I call him Dealer Don. The cars that Dealer Don gets, they're not like my Honda here for $800. He buys the ones that are newer, like 2010, 2015, 2017. You know, those kind of cars, to where most of them are just got fender benders on them, and that's what he wants, is he wants the fenders replaced or the bumper covers replaced and stuff like that. But if we can't do that, then we're just going to go, well, I'm going to bite the bullet and see if I can get on a payment plan with him and get her a decent car. The Honda, it's got 260,000 miles on it. The motor runs like a top. But now other things in the car are going wrong, like that main relay. I put my light tester on a lot of things out there. It's a really embarrassing situation, you know. I'm afraid of getting screamed at by a lot of my viewers, because why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? You know, it's like, I was just, it's just the way I was trying to do it. I was trying to buy a good car that I knew was a good motor. And, she's going to go check the mail. Sometimes the cheapest way out on a cheap car ain't the deal, but my whole life I haven't really liked getting on payments. I've always bought cars for cash, and then if they needed repaired, just repair them. But watching Dealer Don and the way he's flipping these cars, that's what I want to do. I would rather flip a car, turn it, not sit on it, therefore you don't have to fix it. You just keep going to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, until she gets in something that's a heck of a lot newer. So that's what the plan is. I haven't quite put my finger on the exact plan we're going to use, but that's the exact plan we're going to use. During the meantime, we gotta order a exhaust manifold for this truck. This truck's been parked for a while, but I tell you this, man, my theory stands true. No matter what kind of car I get my wife, and it's how new it is or how old it is. Those cars that's got computers in them, we can always fall back on Louise, man, because she don't got no computer parts on her. And she always starts. Anyway, I'll see y'all later, man. See y'all till next time, man. And it's coming around, man. It's coming around. Say goodbye, honey.
Bye. Come on, I'm hungry.
Alright, the Whataburger we go. Time to meet old Big Lou, Dealer Don, and all the rest of the old farts up there, and chew the fat and make some plans and see how it goes. See y'all later.